Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Well done for completing another week of remote learning. Today, we are going to return and finish, for now, our study of The Examination Day by Henry Slessor. So, before we get into it, can you please copy down the title, the date, and the learning objective? Pause the video and press play when you have those things copied down, please. Okay, if you're back, that means you are ready to complete your do now task. You need to answer these 5 questions in 4 sentences. These 5 questions are based on what we read on Wednesday. So you can refer back to your notes, or you can challenge yourself and try and do it from memory. Pause the video and complete this task now, please. Okay, if you're back, that means you're ready to make your purple pen corrections. Make sure you correct them in purple pen if you've got it wrong. So we know Dick is intelligent because he asks lots of questions. It shows that he's curious and inquisitive. A totalitarian government is in the story. The mood inside the government building is cold, sinister, ominous, or tense. Could have said some of those things. The government voice speaks to Dick's parents at the end like a machine with no emotion. And at the end, Dick fails the government test and is killed. Pause the video and make any purple pen corrections that you need to now, please. Okay, so as you can see from our title today, we are going to practice our analytical writing. It's very good that we do a lot of practice because we are able to write analysis based on loads of different texts. This year so far, we've written an essay based on Sherlock Holmes, The Tempest, and now we're going to continue practicing our skills based on the dystopian fiction that we are studying. Today, obviously, examination day. So, before we do anything, could you please pause the video and copy down this title, which is going to be the focus of our writing today? How does Slessor present the examination building and staff as intimidating? Pause the video and press play when you have that question written down, please. Okay, if you're back, that means that you have that question written down. And normally when we get a question like this, we have an extract. I'm going to write a paragraph today based on this extract. But before I do that, I'm going to annotate it and analyse it by looking at some key quotes. So I'm going to grab my highlighter and I'm going to scan back over this. I've read this before, so I can just skim it and highlight some key quotes. Marble floors, automatic elevator, insignialess tunic, the room was as cold as an official's courtroom, thin-lipped woman with cropped black hair, a concealed loudspeaker, the room inside was dim, sit down, and I also like this bit here. Okay, so we've got, obviously we're not going to analyse all of those quotes in our paragraph, but I want to show you, how much you can draw out of these extracts. So I'm going to grab my pen and now I'm going to annotate it a little bit. So the idea of like these marble floors makes me feel like this place is quite kind of cold and unwelcoming. Both of those things link back to the fact that it's intimidating. The automatic elevator kind of shows the power of technology, and that could be quite intimidating, especially because Dick doesn't really know what he's getting into. Power of tech. Insignialess tunic. It kind of the fact that like this man is sitting here and we don't know where he's from creates kind of like suspense as we wait to figure out what's going to happen. The room was as cold and official as a courtroom. The words as here tell me that this is a simile. And, a courtroom, we talked about this last time, courtroom kind of makes us feel like there's going to be some kind of like negative outcome, or some kind of like maybe even like life-changing outcome. this thin-lipped woman with cropped black hair. She doesn't seem very kind of like, she's not very friendly, it seems, or like welcoming. A concealed loudspeaker. Remember, concealed means to be hidden. So this kind of creates this idea of like secrecy and like mystery. Like, why is it being hidden? Why is it even coming through a loudspeaker? Why isn't it a person? The fact that the room is dim, how would that make Dick feel as he entered that room? I could imagine that I would probably be quite frightened, and I'd also probably feel quite uncomfortable. And he's instantly just told to sit down. It's like quite demanding, and almost kind of um, like bossy. And I'd also probably say again, it's like cold and unfriendly. And also just the fact that he refers to him as a number, it kind of makes us think that he is. I'm not going to be able to annotate there, so I'll just put it there instead. Makes Dick feel kind of like less than human. I wouldn't like to be called a number. So, as you can see there, I've unpicked loads of quotes and I've talked about what they make me think about the building and the staff. Now, it's your turn. So, on Show My Homework, there is a document titled Examination Day Extract. This is the extract that you're going to use. And on the document, there are instructions for you to complete a task. Once you've completed the task on the attached document, you need to come back to the video and click play. Please make sure that you save the document. I would save it with English lesson 5 and today's date. So you have that saved on your desktop. So if I ask you to refer back to it, it's saved on your computer or your laptop or whatever you're using, and you have that there. Pause the video, go and complete this task, and then press play when that is done. Okay, so you should have completed that task on the Word document. You should have saved it so you can submit it to me later. And that means you would have annotated this extract in a similar way as I have just shown you with my extract. Now it's time to take that annotated extract and write an analytical paragraph using the structure. So just a reminder, we start with a clear point, then an embedded quotation, then we generate 3 ideas based on that quote, we analyse a word based on that idea, and then we analyse tone, also based on another idea. So I'm just going to exit out so I can type, and I'm going to use my annotated extract to write an analytical paragraph. I have the extract in front of me, so I know exactly what I'm going to include. So my point always starts off with a phrase to tell us when in the text this is happening. So for this example, I've written as the text develops. Then I need to use the question and generate a point about the question. So I'm going to write Slessor presents the examination building and staff as intimidating because, and I'm going to give my reason, because he highlights the environment hostile nature. Something is hostile, it's not welcoming or friendly. So that's a great word that you can also use in your analysis. Now I'm going to embed my quotation. So I'm going to start by explaining what is happening when my quote takes place. And I know which quote I'm going to choose because I highlighted it in my extract earlier on. So I'm going to write, when the family walk into the building, it is harshly, my tone word, described as having marble floors and being as cold as a courtroom. Actually, I'm going to just analyse this one as being as cold as a courtroom. Excellent. Okay, now I'm going to do my 3-idea sentence based on that quote. So I'm going to write, this not only shows how unwelcoming the building is, and I'm using my annotations on my extract to help me with this. And I'm going to write, but further suggests how the family will be negatively impacted by their trip to the building. And then my final idea, and also I'm going to say how the building is mysterious. It's a mysterious place. Okay, now I'm going to analyse a word to I'm going to analyse a word to expand on my ideas. I completely blanked out then. I completely zoned out. So I'm going to write, I'm actually going to analyse the fact that this is a simile. So I'm going to write the simile to compare the building to a courtroom. There's my word. Now I'm going to link it to my idea. So I can either talk about how unwelcoming it is, I can talk about how it's going to give them negative impact, or I can say that it is mysterious. For this one, I'm going to talk about the negative outcomes. Similarly, to compare the building to a courtroom suggests, now I'm going to link how being in the building will bring about negative consequences. And now I need to explain how this word has given me this idea. So, because a courtroom often brings about stressful and life-changing outcomes. We know that's the case because ultimately, by going into the building and completing the test, Dick is killed. Now I need to analyse tone. So I can't say this quote was said because it's not a piece of speech, but instead I can say this quote creates a harsh tone. That is the tone word that I have used up here. Harsh tone. And then I need to explain how it links to one of my ideas. I'm going to talk about how it's unwelcoming, as it emphasizes how unwelcoming and cold the building is. And then I need to explain how this tone has helped me generate this idea. I'm going to say because it seems bland and empty, just like the staff. Excellent. So there you can see that I've used my extract from earlier, which I have open on a separate screen, and I have now produced this paragraph to answer this question. As you probably guessed it, now it is your turn to use your annotated extract, which you should have saved, to write an analytical paragraph using this structure. Pause the video and complete that task now, please. Okay, if you're back, that means you've completed your analytical paragraph and you are ready to submit. It is very important that you submit the document examination day extract with your annotations on, as well as your written notes from today. I'll repeat myself so I'm very clear. You need to submit your examination day extract document and your notes from today. Pause the video, submit your work. When you've done that, you can X out of the video and continue with your day. I hope you have a lovely weekend, and I will speak to you in Monday's video lesson.